like to welcome you to another edition of Black Dragon Biker TV. And always, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in from where it is in the world that you happen to. It's Saturday night. I'm out here chilling. Just got through walking the dog. He's back there. And I have had a few things on my mind that I wanted to get back to you guys on. Listen, if you like this kind of stuff that we talk about, motorcycle clubs, MC protocol, stuff like that, and biker news, be sure and hit us up with a like there, follow. We would absolutely appreciate it. Anyway, I been really disturbed as a former submarine sailor, watching the debacle with the Triton, the Oceangate Triton situation. It's been on all the news channels all over the place. It really did. I think the thing that bothered me the most about it was the kid who died, and the I would say innocent crew members, quote unquote crew members, the people that they would take and certify them as crew members in like 23 seconds, and now you're a crew member on this really cool ship. And it bothered me a lot because of all the protocols that were broken to make for these guys to get where they wanted to be and for the stuff to happen the way that it did. I mean, it was just absolutely horrible how it played out. And so it dawned on me that about a week or two before this adventure happened, and went negatively did, I got a phone call from a very good friend of mine who happens to be doing one of those 1%er motorcycle clubs. He wanted to have his own 1%er motorcycle club. And in his own 1%er motorcycle club, he's been having some issues because there have been a lot of people that have not agreed with his approach to getting his club up and running. And that approach has caused him a lot of consternation, and a lot of folks have been upset with him and that sort of thing. As he has had this idea that he doesn't have to particularly get up to the other. He'll just be able to just go do whatever the hell he wants because he's got a 1%er motorcycle club and nobody can tell him what to do. So when I think about that, one day he gave me a phone call not long ago. And he says to me in this phone call, he said, you know, the reason that all these motorcycle clubs, all these 1% motorcycle clubs are do what they do and push around on people and all of that, he said, it's because of you. And I said, it's because of me? And he said, yeah, it's because of you. Most of these guys that are young, about my age, they watched you coming up on their as they were coming up as kids and stuff, and as they got into motorcycle clubs, they heard you preaching over and over again that you need to do what the 1%ers say. You need to do this, you need to do that, you need to follow this so-called protocol. And so now that they've become these big percenters, they think that they are perfectly in their right to make other people do what they want them to do because you told them that that was their right to do. And if you would just change your message just a little bit, then you would be teaching them the right way, and maybe some of this would go away. And I thought about it. Before I just like, get out of here. I've been thinking about it for a few weeks now, just to kind of run my mind around what he was talking about. So I said, I try to tell people how things are. Often I'll say, when in Rome, do as the Romans do, and people get mad at me when I say that. And so I'm just trying to figure out. And I asked him, I said, well, I tell you what if you get someone killed? Because now you're handing out support patches and all kinds of stuff, and all these people are following you. What happens if you get somebody killed? Because the way that you're going about your method of putting all this together is a very kind of confrontational method. And there have been plenty of clubs that have told you, when I see you out there or one of your folks, I'm going to do something to them. These clubs have told you this. So I said, what if you get somebody killed? And he says to me, people have to die to get what they believe in, you know? And as I think about this guy who did all of this stuff to get his submarine in the water, and people paying $250,000 to ride on it, I realized that this guy broke every damn protocol in the book, and just flouted it all over TV. There's all kinds of interviews. Yeah, we broke every rule. Yeah, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing the other, until he managed to get himself killed, and not only himself, but the people that were foolish enough to follow him. So I wanted to think about that and think about how it works with motorcycle clubs. When I think about, just because somebody believes in something so hard, it doesn't make them right in what they're thinking. Protocols exist for a reason. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that all of the people that put together the protocols are always right, because they're not. But if you don't understand um, what goes into the reality of the situations being like they are, and you don't understand the danger, understand the consequences, or you don't care, you put people that believe in you in a very screwed up position when you get them hurt or killed. Something that you should think about is people who innovate, people who come up with new ways to do things, people who break rules and traditions and things like that. Those kinds of people, many times, are on a death wish. And sometimes it's just by the luck of the draw that they innovate, and they actually do create something really great. A lot of times, there are a hell of a lot of bodies in their wake. These people that are on a death wish, they don't mind dying for what they believe in. And they don't mind sacrificing your ass right along with them. I can remember seeing a video of a guy, and he read this thing, this waiver, which says this is an experimental vehicle and you could be killed, you could suffer serious injury, blah blah blah, and even die if you ride a vehicle. And he laughed and said, "Where do I sign?" He was willing to give everything for his notion of, no one has the right to tell me what to do. No one can make me do what I don't want to do. No one can make me test this ship. No one can make me do all of the things necessary to be certified. And he didn't mind dying to prove he was right when he wasn't. But what was worse was he didn't mind killing everybody else that died right along with him. And I find all of these protocol enemies to be pretty much the same. We don't have to ask permission to start a motorcycle club. We'll do whatever the hell we want. This is America. Nobody, absolutely, absolutely right. But what happens to the bodies you leave in your wake? Is that really worth it? Having to tell somebody, and to the friend of mine, it's absolutely worth it. It's absolutely worth his life. Ever since I ever knew him from day one, he has always been on a death mission. My way or the highway. I'll kill anybody I got to, or me and my bros will stand and die. And it works all day long until it doesn't. It's cool till it ain't. You make as many dives as you make until you make the last one. And that's when you find out, gee, that protocol shit works, because it's the method by which, when we do it that way, there are no, when we go through the process the way the process is meant to be gone through, there are no issues. The issues are solved. Being out on a submarine, I went through a great many trials and tribulations. People who know can't be fooled. This guy said, I don't want a bunch of 50-year-old white guys around me dulling the environment. I want inclusion. I want everyone here. I want young engineers, people with no experience. But wait a minute. You 50-year-old white guy. You were a 50-year-old white guy, but it was okay for you to be there. You just didn't want any other 50-year-old white guys that would be able to look you in the eye and say, what you're doing is stupid, and this is the reasons that we shouldn't do it. So this guy built an echo chamber, and I see a lot of motorcycle clubs like that. Echo chambers of dumbasses with no experience rolling off to Valhalla. And sometimes they find it. And you have to ask yourself, if you're the Water Dogs Motorcycle Club, for instance, was all that worth it? There are other ways that you could have gotten needed to be. It's interesting to me that people who build these echo chambers of folks that agree with everything they say, they echo chamber themselves right on down to 10,000 feet, and it implodes. And I think pop-up motorcycle clubs should think about that. Just because you're in the room with the loudest voice that knows everything, but ain't done nothing, winging it all on a wing and a prayer, leading who will ever follow up until it doesn't work no more. And that, my friends, happens. I don't know how many trips they made, but they were all successful until they weren't. And then you find out in the instant, in the twinkling of an eye, which is about as long as you have left to live. Oops, I screwed up. Maybe I should have done this a better way, a more accepted way, a practice that wouldn't bring such a high cost if it didn't work out the way I suspected it would. And so, what do you learn? What can pop-up MCs learn? One, never be in an echo chamber. If you're dealing with someone that isn't getting advice from anybody, or the only people providing the advice have no experience what they're doing, wow, that might be something to think about. Blind leading the blind is often something that folks run into. If you don't know what the heck it is that you're talking about, if you don't know what's going on, take the time to research. A lot of guys just go join a motorcycle club because somebody's walking around with a patch. You don't even have to, you don't even ask, hey, are we certified, or did we do things the right way? You don't even know to ask that. And so it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, someone will say, well, Black Dragon, who has the right to tell us what to do? Nobody. Nobody has the right to do that. I mean, who has the right to tell somebody that they can do surgery on somebody else? If you went and practiced or whatever, what does a group of surgeons have the right to ask you to pass the medical board for? And the answer is they don't. I mean, but if you practice medicine in this country and you haven't passed that board, they're going to put your ass in jail, whether they got the right to or not. People gather up their sources and forces, and they in every single thing there is, in every single thing. Who has the right to tell women they can't preach the gospel in some churches? Well, you're not doing that over here in our church. I mean, who's got the right? Nobody's got the right to do that. Who's got the right to tell a woman she can't be a priest? But they do it. There's all kinds of stuff that ain't right. It is what it is. So when you go against the protocols, you mess with the bull, and sometimes you get the horns. I think that when I thought about what my friend said to me, I just have to say, I've always simply said, these are your choices. Here's how you can do it, and things work this way. And here's how you can do it, and things work that way. I'm not promoting one side or the other. I'm saying my experience has taught me all of these things exist, and how you go about it is going to determine what kind of day you have, what kind of life you experience. And then this motorcycle club thing, MC protocol can work. It has for many thousands of clubs, and many others, well, we read about them in headlines. And this is true. And if you're willing to die for that, then go get it, baby. Go get your thing. But when you're responsible for other people's lives, when you're the one that they stick international president on your chest, I would think that you would want to find a way that doesn't put your brothers in graveyards. You know what I mean? At least that's the way I always tried to lead. I always wanted to make sure my people were having a great damn time. Living, loving, and riding motorcycles. Following the protocols that kept them safe. To me, there was no honor, dishonor or shame in that. There was no dishonor or shame in having as much fun as we could have. No point to prove. If I got to fight you and kill you, I will. I was in the military. Many instances to have to do that. But if I can have an agreement with you about something and go on about my business and have a good time, I'm willing to do that too. Especially for the people that follow me. Especially for the people whose lives I'm responsible for. I think that's the greatest part about leadership, to actually lead somebody into a successful conclusion and a successful outcome that's safe, advantageous, and shows them a great time. How wonderful would that expedition have been if all those people had come back alive? All their Titanic pictures, their little scraping of paint off the Titanic wall. Maybe even there's a way that they could etch their name in it or something, and graffiti or whatever. Whatever the benefits were. Wouldn't it be cool to have experienced them? 19-year-old boy in the grave because somebody started listening to his own press. Somebody believed that they knew more than everybody already out there. You're all doing it wrong. Didn't want any 50-year-old white guys. Hell, the guy was completely messed up. I know a lot of 50-year-old black guy. Here's a 60-year-old black guy. You could have got some 50, 60-year-old black guys. They'd have told you the same shit. Bro, if you've never experienced a fire underwater, then you don't know that you need an alternative breathing system. If you've never experienced some of the tragedies and what we call catastrophic failures, I faced catastrophic failures of several backup systems with a crew of 150 people, everybody fighting, everybody highly specialized and trained. And we still barely made it back to the surface. But God damn it, we got back. Here I am. Anybody, any fool, any basic submariner who had only spent a year on a submarine could have went there and said, no, change that, change that, change that, change that, add this, add that, add this, add that. You didn't need to be an admiral. You didn't need to be an engineer. You didn't need to be anything, but he got rid of all those people. Refused to consult with them, refused to talk with them, refused to be with them. And I see these pop-up motorcycle club dudes doing the same damn thing. They know everything. Can't tell them shit. And it works. Till it doesn't. Somebody said, just tuned in, not sure if it's been mentioned, but there's another father and son that chose not to go because they didn't trust the safety. And I don't blame the civilians, because the loudest voice in a room often is mistaken for a leader, often mistaken for, oh, this is the Messiah, this is the one that we follow. I mean, look at Jim Jones. I mean, look at David Koresh. I mean, we go down the list of loudest voices in the room that surround themselves with echo chambers. And they repeat it. I know more than everybody. I know more than everybody. I know more than everybody. And then they have some successes. And those successes really, really make them even more arrogant. So sometimes it's not hard to fall prey to them. A submarine sailor would have been like, really? You're driving this shit with a joystick? Okay, well, do you have 3 or 4 extra joysticks? And what if we run into a situation where the wireless joystick, do we have a manual control of some kind? So if we get a fire in the television, are we out of business? If we are all in here and something happens to the atmosphere, do we have an emergency breathing apparatus that we can? Do we have something that's monitoring the? We're all enclosed in this little hole here. What if the atmospheres go bad? What do we have in case any trouble happens? Well, no trouble is going to happen. Well, this is man-made, bro. Some trouble is going to happen. You can't seriously believe that this stuff made in Japan and Korea, Hong Kong, the cheapest metals and stuff you can make in these televisions and controllers and all this stuff, you can't seriously believe that this stuff will never go wrong down at 13,000 feet. You can't seriously believe that. Well, I haven't been to 13,000 feet. I've just been several hundred feet. I can tell you that in the less than 13,000 feet I've been in, I've seen it all go wrong, bro. Every bit of it. I've seen my bros praying to God, crying, "Oh, we're not gonna make it." I've seen that. I've lost in the Devil's Triangle, and had the boat falling to test depth and crush depth. I've been there, done that, bro. And I've done it in motorcycle clubs too. Been there and done that too. So that would be my lesson to some of the pop-up MCs out there. Take some time to learn, digest, and understand protocol and how to make it work for you. It does work, or you wouldn't have all these motorcycle clubs out here riding around free and unencumbered and just having a great damn time. There's a lot of us out here having a great damn time. Figure it out. It works. Anyway, this is my cell phone. I haven't done one of these on a cell phone in a long time, so hopefully everything is working. And I definitely appreciate you guys hanging in there. I think I got a super chat. Thank you for that super chat. MC tradition and protocols are there for a reason. They are. And I'm not going to tell you that a lot of these people do it wrong and screw it up, and they shouldn't be trying to be policing anybody and all that. All that exists too. And there's a way to deal with that as well. So everything you need to do, you can find a way to do. Now I'm trying to figure out how to make this thing where I can get off of it. And that ain't happening. Some kind of way I have it too enlarged. It ain't doing what it's supposed to do. Well, that ain't what I want to do. Drag from the top down. And what happens? Wow. Huh. Well, I'm trying. But anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in. And I don't know, this came to my mind as I was out here driving. Let me see if I turn it this way, what happens? I turn it back that way. Huh. Oh, there. There we go. Did any of these things show? Boom. Do I have anything scrolling across the screen? Oh, there it is. Oh wow, it did work. Okay, so let me see. Oh wow, what just happened? Um, let me try to see if I can get a couple of yeah. Let's see here. See, you guys were talking to me. I see. Met a cat, was a patch holder in Vietnam. Veterans MC said he got out because of all the battles with other clubs. There's a lot of that stuff going on, man, and it's all real, and it happens, and it's just part of the motorcycle club world. You know what I mean? Every kind of world you have has something in it, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? I don't get mad. Um, Sometimes I get a little frustrated with some of the things that go on, but I try not to get mad. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out the stuff. It ain't working. Uh, there it is. Okay, so uh, until I can figure out how to use my phone on this thing, I'm not going to hold you guys very much longer. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. Black Dragon Biker TV. We'll be back tomorrow. Um, and same bad time, same bad channel. You guys take care. I'm just trying to find the out of here button. Oh, I found it. I found the out of here button. Thanks for tuning in. There won't be no music or nothing like that. I'm just out. Like, share, subscribe, follow. You can get my books, Prospects Bible, Sergeant at Arms Bible, um, um, the oh my goodness, the Public Relations Officer's Bible, and Prospects Bible for Women's Motorcycle Club, and the President's Bible, all on Amazon.com, BlackDragonsGear.com, or you can get them on Kindle. You can get Prospects Bible on Audible. Thanks for tuning in, and get skinny. And thank you to my thank you very much to my producers. Thank you guys for having me, man. No matter what time I call. God bless y'all. And we're out. Hit this button right here. Okay.